Chapter 4 Season 4 is finally out, and so far I've had some great first impressions from it. I want to mention before I get into this review that there's a large number of people who are hyping up this season before its release. This hype was generated from the fact that we'd be getting another heist or spy themed season, which in the past, whether it's been a mode or a season surrounding that type of concept, it's mostly been very well received by the community. I say this because people can often overhype things and will end up disliking a season because it didn't live up to the expectations that they set in their head. I personally had no high expectations for this season, and so far I'm very satisfied with Season 4. I want to explain in this video why I like this season, and as per usual I judge these seasons based off of 3 main categories: map changes, loot pool, and overall content / quality of life changes. The map changes this season are phenomenal, with the 3 new POIs being incredibly dense with loot, but also having incredible placement because Epic took the opportunity to improve upon a few different sections to the map that prior to this season had significantly worse loot. Out of the 3 new locations, one of my favorites is Eclipse Estate because it takes a POI that wasn't great and replaces it with one that I would now consider to be one of the best locations on the map. Sanguine Suits, another great POI, replaces Lonely Labs, which wasn't necessarily a bad POI, but considering Sanguine Suits is a far better one, I was completely fine with their decision with this. Out of the 3, Relentless Retreat is unique in a way because it manages to add a significant amount of loot to the map with this very large hotel themed POI in a location that previously to this season had no named location to begin with. Speaking of theme, these 3 POIs are very much so themed around the idea of heist, bosses, and vaults, similar to Chapter 2 Season 2. However, I feel that these vaults have a bit more of a unique aspect when it comes to getting mythic weapons for this season. In the past, we usually do see a boss carry around a mythic weapon they own, meaning landing a POI like the Agency, for example, would guarantee you Midas's drum gun. This season, however, puts a unique twist on it where you can only get the weapons once you enter the vault. Upon entering the vault, you'll have to choose from one of 2 mythic weapons. As soon as you choose to steal one of the mythics from its case, the other one lowers into the ground, making it inaccessible. The main thing that makes this different when compared to Chapter 2 Season 2 is that the 2 mythic weapons in the vault are completely random. The benefit to this is that instead of being forced to go to a location that you might not like as much, such as the Agency, to get a more powerful weapon, is that you can now pick one of the 3 locations that you like the most to make your more permanent drop spot without having the factor of being guaranteed to not have as good of a weapon as someone who decided to land the POI with the better mythic, as now it's completely random. This change alone takes a concept that was introduced in Chapter 2 Season 2, which is a season that this one is trying to most closely mirror, and does it significantly better in every way. Other than these 3 new locations, we do seem to have some other mini vaults around the map that all take boss key cards, which I'm a huge fan of. These vaults don't have incredible loot, but considering some of them add to POIs that are already great, I really can't complain. The only other major thing I've noticed so far are the radar towers that spawn in random locations around the map. These have the capability to allow you to see the next zone, and are unlocked by killing the boss that is guarding the tower. While this change may seem small, it's another thing that improves upon the map that has so many quality changes already this season. The loot pool this season is also very solid, with the vaults, unvaults, and new weapons all being very good changes. The new shotgun this season, the Infiltrator Pump Shotgun, is pretty solid. This gun is interesting because other than the combat shotgun from Season 9, this shotgun manages to have a relatively small crosshair with a fire rate that is only slightly lower than the tactical shotgun. This shotgun to me is what I think the lever could have looked like if Epic had actually put in the effort into making it good. Unlike the lever, the Infiltrator basically takes everything that makes the pump a good shotgun and everything that makes the tac a good shotgun and combines it into one weapon. Now, I don't think this shotgun is super powerful or anything because while it does have a nice sized crosshair and a good fire rate, it doesn't do that high of damage. While I would say right now it's a pretty balanced shotgun, I do think they could buff the damage of this weapon slightly just to give it a slight edge or a reason to use over the Sharptooth. Because right now, considering the Sharptooth was the only shotgun that didn't get vaulted this season, it's slightly better than the new shotgun. This season also added a new Burst SMG, not too dissimilar from the Burst SMG that we saw back from Season 9, with the main difference being the fact that it has a red dot sight now. I like this SMG because it's very solid, and right now I feel like it's not too weak or too powerful. Unfortunately, on the other hand, I do think, however, that the new assault rifle, the Twin Mag, is a little too powerful. I don't necessarily hate this gun, but when you compare it to the statistics of the MK Alpha, it is better in most ways, and even has less recoil, which is a huge advantage to this weapon. Because this is a Twin Mag AR, when reloading with the same clip, it takes almost no time at all, with the only real disadvantage being that when you have to reload the full thing, it takes significantly longer longer, similar to the Twin Mag SMG. In terms of rotational items this season, we have the Rocket Ram, which allows you to blast through builds into the sky, dealing damage to other players and structures upon landing. Unlike prior seasons in this chapter, this form of mobility, while decent, is much more balanced, as it only has one use that takes around 20 plus seconds to recharge. It puts you in a pretty vulnerable state when compared to something like the hammer, the sword, or the odium from earlier seasons this chapter, because it removes that get out of jail free card that most of these rotational items nowadays seem to have. Arguably the biggest change to the loot pool this season was the return of certain mythics from past seasons. The 7 returning mythics are the Foundation's MK, Midas's Drum Gun, Kit's Charged Shotgun, Gunner's Stinger SMG, TNTina's Boombo, Kit's Shockwave Launcher, and the Bottomless Chug Jug from prior seasons. From what I can tell, some of these weapons have been adjusted from prior seasons to not be quite as great as they once were. However, it's a nice set of mythics to choose from that we've had over the past few years, as it gives a large amount of incentive for players to land these new locations. With the new season, we also get some new cars, which is nice to see because it adds a bit of extra rotation to the map, which is always appreciated. These new cars handle very nicely, with the main new feature allowing you to pull the handbrake to make rapid turns, which adds a level of interesting capabilities to the cars that we don't usually have in this game. This season also seems to so far have some very solid augments. Often Epic will add good augments that make the game more interesting, only to replace them with significantly worse ones in a future update. However, it's nice to see that they put more good augments in the place of previously removed ones. Something small that I noticed this season with the Twin Mag AR was that you now have the capability to fully reload it, even with a full second clip, which is very nice to see. This is obviously nice because it allows you to prepare for future fights without having to necessarily shoot at the ground just to reload your weapon. Apart from all of this, the only other thing that I wanted to mention once again is that the ranked mode, for whatever reason, isn't being branded as Season 0 or Season 1, but rather Chapter 4 Season 4 ranked instead. It's weird to me because I feel like most of the changes that were made to the ranked playlist are very minuscule, and the changes that were made to competitive with the launch of the new ranked system were overall very negative. Considering they haven't acknowledged any of these rather sloppy decisions that they've made with ranked, and in general haven't changed much, I really don't think that they've earned saying that they are done with this quote-unquote beta Season 0, as the only real thing that they've changed this season was resetting the rank again. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers to this channel. I want to continue making content similar to this in the future because I really enjoy making it. I've said this a few times, but I would like to review past seasons. If there's a specific season that you would like me to review, please let me know down in the comments below because I'll put more effort into making that one sooner. Other than this, I have a few other videos that I'm working on right now that should be coming out pretty soon. So if you don't want to miss any of those, make sure you subscribe. Other than this, let me know what you think about this season down in the comments below and what you would rank it out of 10. Anyways, thank you for watching and have a great day.